I'm Dave Cyderbaby. This is Full Rock Radio, and today I'm speaking to the legend that is Jizzy Pearl. Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you? You're looking well.
Yeah, I mean, not bad for a legend.
Hey, don't knock it. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that has continued to work this whole time, low these 35 years professionally. And so the grudging respect one gives the cockroach that refuses to die.
Yeah, well, we should talk about 35 years because it's been 35 years since Blackout in the Red Room.
That's right. I'm doing a tour playing the 35th anniversary of that same record.
Yeah, you're coming over to the UK next week.
A couple of days, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, what can you tell me about it, sir?
Well, I'm playing the record from front to back, the whole record, and some new songs off my new record, Punk Rock Fiesta. Be good.
Yep. Okay. Um, you're starting off in Edinburgh and going to Newcastle, Buckley, Wolverhampton, Blackpool, Bradford, London, Great Yarmouth as well, Crumlin and Swansea. So you're doing quite a stretch over here, sir.
10 shows in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. You need to book yourself some time off.
I wish. I wish. I got 2 days off in Blackpool, and I think I'll ride the roller coaster.
Okay. So you mentioned new tunes. You've got a new album coming out, which is, of course, Punk Rock Fiesta. Uh, one single at the moment you're going to burn. What can you tell me about the rest of the album? I mean, I flicked through it. I really like it. It's very how can I put it? Blues with attitude, I suppose, is about the best way I could
That is a
describe
good
it.
way of putting it. These days, you can either be in two camps as a musician. You can be in the Billy Idol camp or you can be in the Billy Joel camp. And I want to stay in the Billy Idol camp. I want my records to keep the heavy attitude, and that's what I was trying to keep and convey with this record.
Yeah. I'll Be Your Shadow is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, it's there's a lot of good tracks on it, and I like it a lot. And yeah, it's exciting to have new music. It always is.
Yeah. You don't tire of it.
Well, I feel like it's required. I mean, a lot of times, you know, the state of the industry in 2025 and streaming and whatnot. I mean, you have to. I make records for myself. I mean, I make them
Hmm.
for people to listen to and buy and enjoy. But I mean, I make it more for myself so I can keep the torch burning of being a musician.
Yeah. I mean, you're quite a creative person anyway, because you write, you do a bit of TV as well and stuff like that. So, do you find you have enough outlets for your creativity?
Well, I got the YouTube channel, as you said, J Pearl TV, and yeah, it's cool. I get to, I don't know, do a lot of different kind of stuff on it. Stories, music, whatever strikes your fancy. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
yeah, it's a cool outlet, and I've written a bunch of books, and I tour all the time. So I try and stay busy.
Yeah. Um, back to the album. Um, 8 tracks and a mixture of uh paces, I suppose. I mean, you got like the 4 5 minute songs, and you got like the really punchy 2 2.5 minute songs as well. Was it a conscious decision to mix it up a bit, or was it just how the cookie crumbled?
Well, it was once I start the writing process, the collection, you know, is what it is. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't specifically set, down and go, this is going to be a 4 minute or this is going to be 2 minute or whatever. It's just
Hmm.
whatever the song ends up sort of being, and fast ones tend to be shorter, obviously.
Yeah. Um, again, it's well, I go back to that like blues of attitude, but I also got I'm just trying to think. It's like the house band of from Dust to Dawn movie as well. That kind of vibe from it.
Well, again, it's hard to be objective about one's own music, but I did try and keep the attitude alive with this record. You know what I mean? Because when as you get older, everyone tells you to slow down. You know, you need to slow down, and then it's basically you're on the couch with the Netflix and the weed, and it's just I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? Not yet,
Mm.
anyway.
Yeah, I was talking to the singer from Demon a while back, and he said, as soon as you let the old man in, that's the end of the story, and it's very
Well, and
true.
it's easy to do. I mean, I shouldn't say it's easy, but it's right there. You know what I mean? It's pretty soon. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just that guy.
Mm. Okay, you've got quite a history. I mean, you're
A
you
checkered past.
a check it. No, well, yeah, maybe. Um, but the Sunset Strip played a big part in your forming as a musician, obviously. Do you ever look back on that and say, well, I wish I'd done things a little bit different, or
I mean, I guess it's just when you're in that situation, in
mm,
that environment, you're just kind of it's hard to describe. People have tried to describe it. I've tried to describe it in my books and stuff like that because people are interested in that period of time. Uh, you just you're a young guy. You're trying to get into a band. You're a musician. You want to get noticed. You want to get all the adjectives, the
mm,
hammer of the gods stuff that you grew up with. So all your friends are getting record deals and they're on MTV, and it was a strange time in that respect that you thought maybe it could happen for you. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I don't know how young bands look at that whole thing because it's not the same as it was back then. You had a record deal, you know, you could be on a bus and you could be on MTV and you could be, you know what I mean?
mm,
It was a whole different thing back then. So, but it was fun.
yeah. Do you think the environment of the strip shaped the sound of the music, or do you think the sound of the music shapes the Sunset Strip?
What shaped the sound of the music was just kind of how we lived.
Mm,
If you listen to that Blackout in the Red Room record, it's basically a peek into how we were living at that time. That's why it sounded so authentic.
mm,
You know what I mean? It was the strip, but it was also us at that time. It was being broke, being desperate, that vulnerability that you have. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's all in that record. You know what I mean? In the
yeah,
music.
yeah. Um, Going through like the last 35 years since that first album, what would you say would have been the biggest influences on you besides the strip?
Well, for now, it's just being a survivor, I guess. I mean, I've been around a while and I've
Mm,
always managed to work in different bands
yeah,
and different, incarnations and stuff like that. But I've always been myself.
yeah,
When I sing for Rat or LA Guns or Quiet Riot, I'm never a simulation. I'm pretty much just me. You know what I mean? And that's I guess that shaped how I live and how I write music and how I experience the outside world. You know what I mean? From the viewpoint of someone that's been doing it a long time, kind of the whole gypsy lifestyle, really.
mm. Would you change it? Would you have changed any of it?
I would have bought Bitcoin when it was $1.
I think we all would have, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Punk Rock Fiesta is coming out next week, I believe, 1st of March.
Yes.
Yes, and you are on tour in the UK. Um, are you touring straight after as well? Are you going on to Europe or?
Well, I play in Quiet Riot here in the States, and we do a
Mm,
lot of work. So I'm always working there with that band. And, for me, this is more, I get to go over to the UK and have fun. And even though it's obviously work,
mm,
but I get to go to Scotland. I get to go to Edinburgh. My wife gets to walk the Royal Mile and all that awesome life experience, and we really enjoy being in the UK. I've been coming there just, you know, 20, 30 years. And it's interesting to people growing up with your music. I
yeah.
can't describe it, but people that come to your shows in 2025 or 2024 that grew up with you when they were 16 and 17, it's not really something you can describe because they come up to you and they try and describe it. They just can't. I mean, I get it. I
Mm.
get it. You know what I mean? I grew up with the Who and Led Zeppelin and stuff. And if I were to meet Roger Daltrey, how do I tell him what he means to me? You know what I mean? I just would just sit and blubber like a child.
Yeah, yeah. I can relate to that. Um, yeah, so I mean the UK has been quite an open home to you. Like you say, you've been here quite a few times, and we do seem to feel like you're one of us.
For better or worse, eh?
Well, better, I think.
I just, they ever since 1990, this people have embraced the music, and we were special. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's the humor in the lyrics, the tongue in cheek, whatever, but it's always been a nice, welcoming, place. And I'm able to go over there and do work, you know what I mean, and have people still pay for tickets and buy the records and stuff like that. So it's great.
Mm. Okay, Jizzy. I'm gonna let you go because you're a man of much demand. So I'm sure you've got so much more to be doing better than speaking to me. But I will go and say that this album is absolutely superb. I do love it. It just keeps me going. Punk Rock Fiesta is out next week.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and we
People should
can,
check it out. People should check it out. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised at the energy of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That hopefully they will get that whole energy thing.
yeah. Okay. So thank you for your time.
Cheers, mate.